In this video, we're going to learn about interdependence among living things. Start. In a habitat, a source of food can be eaten by many kinds of animals. For example, in a grassland, grass can be eaten by zebras, deer, and giraffe, and all of these animals may be eaten by lions. We can link them together to form a food web as shown below. This is an example of a food web in a grassland. A food web consists of two or more food chains linked together. It can be very complex as a lot of living things can be eaten by more than one animal. This is an example of a complex food web in a field. Understanding the food web in a habitat is important. Any changes to a group of organisms in the habitat will affect the other groups of organisms in the same habitat. Rice plant, rat, snake. Study the above food chain. If the farmer catches all the snakes from his paddy field, what will happen to the rats? First place, the number of snakes decreases. Then number of rats increases because there are lesser snakes to eat the rats. And then the number of rice plants decreases as large number of rats eat up most of the rice plants. If this situation continues, what will happen to the rats? As the rice plants cannot provide enough food for the rats will eventually die of hunger too. There is another group of organisms at the end of each food chain. This group is known as decomposers. Examples of decomposers are bacteria and fungi. Decomposers break down waste materials from animals and dead organisms into simpler substances. These substances are released into the soil and absorbed by plants for growth. Decomposers are very important. Without them, the waste materials cannot be recycled. Besides for food, why do living things depend on each other? Some animals also depend on plants, such as trees, for shelter and protection. Trees provide shelter for animals from the scorching sun and rain. Animals living in trees are protected against enemies on the ground. What are the animals you know that live in trees? So these are some examples of animals that live in trees. We have here monkeys, ants, and squirrels. Some animals raise their young in trees. Most birds do so by building nests on trees. Some birds their nest in the hole in trees. In this picture, a bird feeding its young in a nest on a tree. And here, a bird feeding its young living in a hole in a tree. Trees are home to many animals. Therefore, we must care for the trees around us. We should stop cutting down trees. Otherwise, the animals will lose their homes. Animals also depend on plants for oxygen. Plants produce oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. Why do living things need oxygen? During respiration, animals and plants give out carbon dioxide. Plants use carbon dioxide to carry out photosynthesis. Some plants depend on animals such as insects, birds, and bats to pollinate their flowers. These animals play an important role in ensuring these plants reproduce successfully. Plants also depend on animals to disperse their seeds. Some animals, such as birds, eat the fruits and seeds. Later, the seeds are passed out undigested, along with the droppings of the birds at other places.